Okay, superstar, we are doing a different segment. Every single Monday, I am bringing to you Monday Motivation. Now, I want to shout out my girl all the way up in heaven, Ali, because we actually started this segment on Clubhouse. Yes, of all places. We did our Monday Motivation, 2 o'clock every single week, rain, hail, or shine. Even if one of us was on the toilet with gastro, if we had our head in the toilet bowl, whatever it was, we did this, we showed up for our vision, and we kept the commitment. And this is something that I want to do with you. It's something that I want to bring in with you. I'm here, I'm sitting on Zoom because Riverside still isn't working. I got my Apple headphones on, but you know what? I'm fucking committed. I'm feeling fiery. Maybe you can hear this. And I know that you are going to love this new quickie segment that is definitely going to leave you satisfied. I want you to check in with something for a moment for yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, and be really honest here. You don't need to share this with anyone except yourself. What is your business default mode? What do you continually go in? I want you to think about, if you were just having a week where you coast through your business, what is your default mode? I want you to think about when stuff isn't going well, what is your default mode? I want you to think when you see some bitch that's just doing something that you know is going to annoy you, what is your default mode? Because whatever your default setting is going to give you an indication about how you have the business that you have right now. Because if you think about it, it is basically what you are experiencing now is the sum of all of these decisions and all of these thoughts. And half of that, well, actually all of it is happening because of the default mode that we are in. Now, I have a bit of an example that may make this hit a little bit differently. So when I have my Pilates studio, I have worked with like thousands of clients, right? I had some people that would come to me and they would want to facilitate this huge change, whatever it is. And I said to them, and I was really honest, I'm like, I could give you the most banging fucking Pilates class in the world. This could be the best hour. This could be the best Pilates class that has ever been taught in the history of Pilates classes. Joseph Pilates could resurrect himself and be like, she is now my like protege, right? He could think that. However, you walk out the door and you slouch and you go into your old habits, it actually means shit. Now, I know people that have access to the best coaches. They are in the best programs. They follow the best people. They read the best books. They listen to the best podcasts. But as soon as that shit ends and they are with their own voice, where they are with their own thoughts, that shit is working against them. And that is the default, okay? And this is where we need to look at changing what that is. So just like what I told my clients, as soon as you walk out of the door of that amazing class, you want to make sure that you are changing your default setting, that you don't sit in your car and you slouch or you put all your weight onto one side. You need to be conscious and you need to change your default because it is what you do when you are not in the class that is actually the most important part of your workout. And this goes for business as well. What is going to be the most important thing for you to do is to literally be conscious of your default setting and to just check in and ask yourself how you can change that. Because again, you could have access to the best, but if when that stops and you are with yourself, your default setting is a bit fucked, this is how you're going to end up with a business that you are not happy with. This is how you can look at your year and you're like, how come nothing is progressing? This is how you can look at your business and you're like, why is my shit still fucked? Why is the same stuff happening? Why am I still having client fuckery? Why aren't I growing? And it's because the default is constant. So this is where you get to make a change. You get to be like, you know what? Today is the day, line in the sand. I'm going to be that bitch. I'm going to change my shit. I am going to change my thoughts and I'm going to choose better thoughts. And what this is about is bringing awareness to what you're thinking and when you see something, how you respond to it. Alice Nichols is incredible. And I remember, she said something once, I'm pretty sure it was just on stories and it just stuck with me, where she was talking about, your first response and your second response. And she said, your first response, you can't help. That is going to be unconscious. But what we can then choose is our second response to something. And this shows growth. So this is where you can wake up or you can see something that's not ideal. You can look at a client that you really wanted to work with that had a call with you that's now working with someone else. I want you to think of something negative, right? Whatever you would consider to be negative or a bit of a kick in the dick for the day. And I want you to think about what your first thought would be. And then this is where we get to change our default because we get to change our second thought. So you can be like, you know what? Not my client. There's so many other clients. Maybe they need to experience that before they can come work with me. This is where we get to choose a very different second thought. And by doing this and by being conscious of this, this is where you are going to raise your default setting. Now, the cool thing that happens here is your default setting is probably a little bit fucked. I find for a lot of people, there's a bit of drama. They're sitting in the drama of things. They're catastrophizing. Like they should become a writer for The Bold and the Beautiful, right? Like the shit that they could come up with, monetize that. Don't bring that shit into your business. You sell that storyline to The Bold and the Beautiful. Could you imagine Brooke living that out, right? And this is where we get to raise everything. So our default mode is then us on our best day. And no word of a lie, you can ask anyone around me. I'm usually like this every single day. I have my moments. I usually say I have one a quarter, but for the most part, I am fucking fabulous. I'm fabulous. I am so excited to be alive. I'm here to do incredible things. How lucky am I that this vision dropped in and that I am me and that I get to do what I do every single day and I get to make everyone's life better. That is my default. I am like this first thing of a morning. I'm like this in the middle of the night. Now, you may be like, okay, this is a bit too much for me. That's okay, baby. You can pick whatever default mode you want. But this is where you get to decide. And when you change your default setting, you are going to have a different life. So I have some action steps because there's no point me getting you fired up for you to then just be like, hell yeah, and again, do nothing with it. Remember, we're changing our default setting. You've got a couple of options here. You can set a reminder on your phone and you can check in with yourself a couple times through the day and be like, how am I feeling? What thoughts am I thinking right now? I love Brooke Castillo. She does a thought download. You can download all of your thoughts, just like, stream of consciousness, journal all of that shit out, okay? And just kind of see what's coming up for you. This is where you can check in with yourself at the end of every day. Or maybe every time you pass a mirror, you just tell yourself like a couple things like, you are that bitch. You are amazing. Everyone wants to work with you. People love to pay you. You are like, everything is in motion. It's all happening. It's all fucking happening. Okay. And you can change your default mode. And when you do this, you are going to have a very different life. Go forth, make some money, be hot. I love you. Mwah.